Hey guys, welcome to Sassy in the City. We have another kind of like festive episode for you guys today. We are talking about New Year's resolutions and New Year, New You sort of thing, keeping healthy habits. And I am joined by Szyszko.
That's right.
It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I've been begging to have you on here for ages, and the New Year was coming up and I was like, you will be perfect because you are the picture of health and fitness on my Instagram feed at least, and I just find you very inspirational. So thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you. I hope I actually live up to this expectation people have in my hair.
Yeah, my old housemate was like so thrilled as well when I said I was getting you on. First of all, do you have any New Year's resolutions this year?
Do you know what? I'll be completely honest with you. Not really.
Do you ever have New Year's resolutions?
I haven't had any for years. I feel because I've been quite healthy. I feel like New Year's resolutions is usually like a healthy thing. I've been quite healthy for a while, so I haven't really,
Are you more of a like small goal setter? Like, I don't know, throughout the year, just being like, I'm going to do this for the next few months?
Absolutely. Yeah. I just randomly throughout the year just have little goals. Like recently, I stopped having coffee.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that later because I'm so intrigued by this. I love coffee.
Yeah, I think for next year, I'm going to try and continue not having any coffee. Maybe I'm thinking just get my sleep hygiene a little bit better.
Your sleep hygiene?
As in, I'm planning to get my sleep on point. Basically, I'm having some issues right now.
Okay, how come?
Sometimes I sleep at 3 a.m, 2 a.m, 9 p.m. It's just inconsistent, and I feel it's really affecting my health right now. So I'm trying to kind of work on that. Basically.
Okay, what are you going to do to make your sleep better?
I don't know yet.
Okay, you're going to look into it. You're going to look into it.
Yeah, I'm trying different things right now. Obviously, like I'm drinking herbal teas. I'm taking ashwagandha at the moment. I try to put my phone away at 9
quit
p.m.
coffee as well.
Yes, that has helped a lot.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee after like 1 p.m. latest, and I found that helped my sleep so much. I never stay awake anymore.
Yeah, I just can't have coffee at all. It just doesn't work with my body at all. Another thing I would probably do is have my meals regular. Times, because
Do you find that difficult with a busy life though?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think that really affects your well-being so much. Like a lot of the time you're bloated because you don't eat at regular times. Again, I can't fall asleep because I'm eating too late before bedtime, and I get some calories in later in the day and I feel awake. My system's still working, digesting all the food. So those little things, that's what I'm going to work on in the new year. Instead of having like a specific goal, I'm just going to like add a few changes. And that's what I usually do throughout the year. Like just adjust a few little things. And I feel like I treat my body like a little experiment. Like I would read a lot of things online and in books, and I'm like, okay, let me try that. Let's see if that works for me. And luckily for me, my body really...
Does it really communicate with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that it?
I read my body very well. It kind of responds to what I do, what I consume, how much I rest really quickly. So I feel like I know my body inside out at this point.
Yeah, I've got a similar thing, and I used to hate my body for that when I was younger because, like, I don't know, some people could like eat whatever they want and like do whatever they want, and they'd like always have clear skin. They'd never have like weight gain or anything. And I used to like really begrudge that, and then I realized, actually I'm very lucky because it's really easy for my body to communicate with me, like when I'm stressed, when I'm not eating well, because like my skin will break out. Like recently I moved and I got really stressed and I had like really bad skin for a week, and I was like, that's actually quite good that my body communicates with me. And I felt like so much better about breakouts and stuff like that ever since I kind of realized how lucky I am for that, because there are so many people who will live unhealthy lives and they'll never really clock it because they can't see it, and they're like, well, what's the point of changing if they can't see the damage they're doing? And
then that can also escalate to like bigger issues later on if you don't realize what you're doing to your body, what's happening to your body, what that could mean. Like let's say breakouts. Like for me, if I get breakouts around my chin, I know what that means in terms of my diet, what I need to change immediately to get rid of that, for example. And there's so many things that happen inside of our bodies that we can't see, and a lot of people actually can't feel it as well until later on, or they don't know how to read the body. They just think it's normal,
or they just ignore it and then it becomes a new normal, and then they forget
and they think, it's normal.
I know like one of my old bosses, he used to be able to eat like whatever he wanted and not gain any weight. And I was just sat there being like, oh my God, this man is gonna like be one of those really like people that look really healthy but will die of a heart attack because he's eating all these McDonald's and KFCs every night and thinking like, oh, it's not an issue because I don't gain weight. And it's like, that's
just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not an issue, or it's not going to be one.
But yeah, so I'm so upset to hear that you don't love New Year's resolutions. I'm a big fan of them.
What's yours? Tell me.
I don't think I've got one this year, but in the past, no, I do love them though. Like when I was younger, I once gave up chocolate for a whole year. This was around like when I was 12, and my parents just couldn't believe it. And I think this was just before I went vegan. So then when I was like, I'm going vegan, they're like, fucking hell, she's going to do it. She gave up chocolate last year. Like she will do it. Oh yeah, and then in 2021, like mid-pandemic, I guess, I decided that I was going to go outside every day. I was one of those girls that was trying to do like 20,000 steps every day, and that didn't really ever work when I aimed for that. But the second I was like, oh, I'm going to get out the house every day, I then became one of those like on average 10,000 steps or more girls.
Yeah, do you know what I feel sometimes when you set such a big goal, it just doesn't follow through.
Yeah.
But then it happens accidentally.
Yeah.
Because you actually really want to do it deep down. And I feel like with any goal, if you don't actually want to do it and make a change deep down, it's not going to work. Even like if it's, you know, from January 1st, I don't want to do this. It's just so much pressure on not doing things or doing things a certain way. For me, I usually used to get a new calendar every January and I would like plan out my whole year.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Do you still do this?
No, because it never worked.
It never worked.
Never worked. Absolutely never worked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, at the start of last year, I literally put on my to-do list. One of them did fall through. I wanted to write a book. That didn't happen. I got rejected for a book proposal because I didn't have enough followers. So instead, my goal became to get a certain amount of followers. I'm nearly there on TikTok. I wanted to get 100,000. I'm at 90.
You're doing well on
90,000.
TikTok.
I know. It's like, I love it there. It's great. And then my other goal was to run a marathon and start a podcast. So I feel like Meatloaf said 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, how was the marathon?
Horrible.
What do you mean? You did it twice, no?
No, I did one marathon, then I did a half marathon a week later, and now I have like 6 toenails left on my feet.
Oh my God, stop.
Yeah, and I can't run anymore. I'm still like in my rest mode because my foot got so stressed by it all. So I think it was probably the half marathon afterwards that screwed me over. But it does show that when you really set your mind to stuff, you can do it. And I was like, okay, these will be my 3 goals of the year. And it was like 2 career ones and 1 like fitness one. And I was really happy. I felt like that was a good balance.
Yeah, it's a good balance between setting like a personal goal and then more like career driven goal. But I do remember seeing you like run every day, prepping for your marathon, and I was thinking, she's actually doing it. I love it.
I was
gonna
doing
do
so
it.
good.
You were doing amazing.
Yeah, and then I had to move, and then I had to move again. So like that really messed up my. I think I would have gotten
still
under
did
4
it.
hours.
You know, you still did it.
Yeah.
And do you think because you were posting about it online, you felt like you were more accountable? It held you more accountable?
I actually don't think so. I think it was actually just having the marathon. Like I was like, I have to run a marathon. I think having that made me do it. But I found Strava really helpful, which is a type of social media. So maybe not Instagram. I enjoyed sharing on there, but structure-wise, I found like tracking it on Strava and like seeing my personal best really good.
I love tracking so much.
So you do mostly weights and stuff, right?
Depends.
Okay, tell me through your workout because you are like a gym queen.
I'm not a gym queen.
How many times a week do you go?
I aim for 4 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long do you spend there on average?
So when I'm training legs and my glutes, I would say up to 2 hours even, just because I lift quite heavy and my rest time between each set is quite long, just so I can push through. But if I'm training my upper body, let's say it'll be like 45 minutes. But my training really changes. Let's say I would focus on weights of cardio, then just weights. It kind of goes with my cycle. So I kind of...
What, your menstrual cycle?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So you track your cycle as well and like flow and stuff?
Exactly. And I kind of make a routine with that cycle that I have. So like at the first part of my cycle, I have so much energy. So that's when I do, obviously still do weights, but also I do high intensity training. Yeah. Also, I try classes. So I go to random classes, just like boxing or spin, stuff like that. And then I just focus on training in the second and third part of my cycle. And then during my period, I don't train at all. I just literally rest.
You just rest and eat chocolate. Do you eat chocolate?
I eat chocolate.
Yeah.
But I eat 100% chocolate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
I actually really like it.
I used to be an 80% girly, but I had 100% once, and that is so bitter.
I just feel like there's just not enough good vegan chocolate. What do you think?
I feel like the vegan chocolate's better if I head somewhere like Holland and Barrett or Planet Organic, and the more you spend, the nicer it is. I like a lot of the raw brands, like Raw, Halo, and
That's pretty good, yeah.
yeah, and oh my god, I've lost it. But yeah, like a lot of the raw brands I think are quite nice. Yeah, I'm not as much into chocolate as I used to be when I was younger. Like I used to be so into chocolate, and as I've gotten older, I've like, I actually enjoy, like if I were out having dessert, I'd rather a fruit dessert than a chocolate dessert.
Really?
But barely anywhere does a fruit dessert, even for vegans.
Yeah,
it drives me
that's
crazy.
true.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what happened to like poached pears, for example? I love that at this time of year. Yeah.
Do you know what I love? I love apple crumble. That's like my thing. I can eat all year round. But other than that, I don't really like sweet things unless I get a specific craving. Like I think last month I was really into my Krispy Kremes, and I don't know where that came from. I was just like, I just need a Krispy Kreme.
So did you lean into that, or did you like try and substitute it? How was your attitude when you had a craving like that?
I just went and got it.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah. I realised, listen, I've been getting these Krispy Kremes like every single day. What am I doing? You know?
Yeah, because like an odd treat's fine, and then every day you're like, okay, this is a habit I've picked up. Yeah, okay.
And I have a very addictive personality when it comes to anything.
Okay.
It's actually great when it comes to training and eating healthy. It's good to feel addicted to that. But I get addicted to like drinking and other things quite quickly as well, so I kind of have to stay away.
But is it never even a danger when you're addicted to the gym? Do you ever feel like you exhaust yourself?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I feel like this year I've really improved my mindset when it comes to resting.
Okay.
Because I used to train every single day because I'm addicted to movement.
Yeah.
It wasn't even just about getting my body nice and tight. It was just the feeling of being at the gym, you know, and I realized that exhaustion is just not beneficial at all.
Yeah.
So I kind of just started to rest more. So you need to find a balance of resting. And now I'm like, okay, I need to rest like at least twice a week. During my period, absolutely no exercise because I need to get my energy levels up.
Yeah,
you know?
you just got to put yourself first.
Yeah, but rest is so important. And I really struggled for that such a long time. I felt guilty. Kind of, because when you move every single day, when you do something every day and then you stop, you're like, you know, it was hard, but now I just accepted it and I kind of enjoy resting and then feeling 100% again the next day.
Oh, this is good. I know quite a few people who get like this, like the real gym bunnies. They're just like, yeah, it's a real high that you end up chasing once you really get into it, and it's hard to pull yourself away from it.
Because you know what, some days I'll leave the gym feeling so good. I get home, eat my food, and I'm like, I want to go gym again because I feel so good.
I could never be this girl.
It's just because I really enjoy being there.
Okay, so were you always someone that enjoyed being active, or is this something that's come later in life for you?
Do you know what? I grew up being very active, always playing some sort of sport, being outside with my parents, like just outdoor activities, being active. Then as a teenager, that kind of went away. Okay. Because I remember PE lessons were like, it was like once a week at school.
Yeah.
It was
and it was in the freezing cold.
And it was just like everybody was just messing around. So that kind of just went away. I stopped exercising. The most I would do is just walk to school and back. Yeah. And I think when I was around 20, that's when I actually got into the gym. And ever since then, just carried on my fitness.
Yeah, I think I was quite similar. I feel like teenage school years at PE is just horrible. And like, I enjoyed netball when I was at primary school, but then I didn't make the team at secondary school. And then there wasn't really a club for people who just wanted to play. It was just for the team. And it was like, okay.
And you know, back then, fitness wasn't such a thing, I don't think.
No.
Whereas now, when I go to a class, I see younger people there. You know?
Yeah, because people do care about it and people understand it. And I feel like that was kind of a social media thing. I feel like it can go too far in one way, but in its origins, it was kind of a retaliation to, like, around the time Instagram started, it was very much like be skinny was like the motto and like what the tabloids are pushing, and then people were like, actually just be strong and healthy.
But what do you like to do for exercise? You dance, right?
I like dancing. I like running, and I like aerial yoga as well.
I've seen that. That looks amazing.
It's really fun. Unfortunately, though, I could only do that with Gym Box. It was really hard to book in for. It was like one class a week, and I had to spend like £90 a month on that sort of membership, and I wasn't getting enough out of Gym Box to continue doing that. And also where I've been moving, I keep losing my local gym, because I find if your gym's more than a 20-minute walk away, you're probably not gonna make it. Well, it depends on who you are, but for me, where I walk everywhere versus someone outside London who'll drive, it doesn't really work. But one thing that I did really have to adjust my brain to when I was like a young adult was that it does cost money to exercise, and
especially in London.
Yeah, my god,
it's so expensive. Gym memberships, it's insane.
Yeah, but so many people will put off like picking up like a gym membership or healthy habits, or even like joining a class, whatever, because there is that price barrier. Like I used to think it was ridiculous, and it still shouldn't be as expensive, but when you think like, okay, but like this should be a priority, and you have to kind of like
you
make
have to
it
see it as a investment, in a way.
Yeah.
You know?
Even running though, I thought that was like the free one, and then you realise, oh, actually I have to buy like good quality like leggings so that you don't slip down when you're running, and you have to buy good quality running shoes. So even that actually like put me back like maybe like 300 quid to be able to run once a week, like as a healthy person, and that was frustrating as well. It's a shame that there is such a price barrier when you're initially getting into exercise, but if like it's not accessible for everyone, but some people do need to just shop around the money and make it a priority.
Yeah, it's how you prioritize things. Like I remember when I first got into fitness, I was like, am I going to pay for gym, or am I going to spend this money on clothes? Yeah, you have to make that adjustment and think, okay, what's going to make me happier in a long term? And the thing is, when we go out, we easily spend so much money on drinking and Ubers, but we don't want to pay for a gym, you know?
That's what I ended up thinking. I was like, okay, well, actually, if I cut out 1 meal a week and
not
a week, 1 meal a month,
you have to eat, girl. Stop it.
No, I mean like 1 meal out a month, and I cut out one like night out drinking a month. That's my gym membership, and I'm like, oh, actually, that's actually quite a good price to trade in. Obviously, if you don't have that to trade, then it's not accessible. But yeah, if you can. Yeah, do it. Like it's so important. I remember I had to like hype up my old housemate and be like, look, it's expensive, but you should do it. Like,
you do it.
Like this is priority.
Do you know, sometimes I'll spend like £20 on Uber, and I'm thinking I could have gone to a fitness class and actually enjoyed myself.
How much do you think you spend a month on like fitness?
Oh, I'd rather not say, honestly.
No, I mean like, because for you it's not just like putting your health first, but it's also a big hobby. So it would be interesting.
It's a lot of money, I'd say, because do you know what? Gym membership itself is quite pricey, but it's the classes.
Oh, so you have to pay extra for classes on top of your gym membership?
I don't do classes at my gym because they're not so great.
Oh, so how do you get to your classes?
I go to different...
do you do ClassPass?
I don't do it, no. I used to do it, but it felt like it didn't really work out.
No, I don't think it's that great.
No. So I get like a membership with Cobox sometimes and do like classes with them. Then I go Pilates.
So you keep it varied?
Yeah, because I love all type of movement apart from yoga. I hate yoga.
Okay, yeah, I do.
I like hot yoga because I'm sweating a lot and it feels different, but I just find it so boring.
See, I enjoy yoga, but once I moved to London, I couldn't really justify the level of yoga I was doing. I couldn't really justify the prices for like spending this much money to stretch for an hour. Like Pilates, I was like, that's similar but a bit better. And in London, there are so many fun things you can do to work out. It just feels like yoga is just so basic.
But it's really hard at the same time, and it makes you feel great.
Yeah.
But it's just not for me. I prefer something more high intensity, really.
Yeah, I say I can't do a HIIT class. If I have to go to a class and they make me do a burpee, I'm out. I'm never coming back.
I love that.
Of course you would.
I just love it. I just feel so good about myself after.
Maybe I should try doing this. Maybe this should be one of
my... We should go. Yeah,
no, I'm not going with you. God.
Why?
Like, you'll do like 5 burpees by the time I've done one.
Okay, but you're going to be too busy doing your thing to be watching me.
That is actually so true. I feel like that is another thing which that's actually something I learned from yoga. It was like everyone's so focused on their mat.
Yeah.
No one's actually looking at anyone else.
That's the thing. A lot of people tell me, oh, I'm so scared to try a new class in case people laugh at me. Are they going to judge me? Nobody's looking at you. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I just care about myself. Like, it's the truth, you know. I'm not going to be, you know, looking at you.
And if you are looking at anyone, you're actually looking at the person that is like the best in the class. You're like, oh my God, I want to be them.
Am I doing it right? You're kind of checking in, but there's no judgment, honestly. Yeah. And I used to be anxious trying new classes, but I just went in for it and felt like it's not that deep.
It's not that deep.
Like, everybody starts somewhere, you know?
Yeah, and I think as long as you like let the instructor know when you go in, like, I'm new. I think that's the important thing to do. Just give them a heads up. Like, I'm new. So if I struggle, like, just let me go at a pace.
And then everybody also comes more friendly towards you when you tell them you're new, you know?
Yeah.
They kind of talk to you after, like, how did you find it? It's quite nice. Yeah.
And whenever I'm new, I always try and think of myself as like, this is probably like semi-toxic, but you know, like before and afters, I'm always like, cool, I'm the before, and then I'll look at the like girl that's like doing the best in the class, and I'm like, that's my after.
Yeah,
like I'm at the start of the journey, and it makes me even want to like video it and document it and be like, cool, here I am now. I'm gonna be someone better in like 5 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that girl was you at one point as well, so everybody has to start somewhere. So just get your ass to a class or a gym, you know.
Because that is the most helpful thing, when people are like, I'm just too scared to go or too anxious, and
Nothing
it's just that
scared of, because nobody cares. Literally nobody cares.
All the people you think will care are the ones that are too busy caring about themselves. It's 100% true. Okay. We'll move on from fitness now. Okay, so here was actually quite a good question. I think you are a very healthy person. I want to know, what is the like easiest switch you made in your life to be a bit healthier? Like, what one took like very little effort but had very big benefits?
I want to say, you know, when I transitioned from eating meat to going vegetarian.
Okay, so cutting out meat.
Yeah.
Okay, did that just make you feel lighter and more agile, or?
Definitely. Do you know what? Because I was raised eating seasonal food. I was raised eating a lot of vegetables, so I found it quite easy to go vegetarian.
Okay, because you knew vegetable-based dishes.
Yeah, I was kind of raised eating that kind of food, so then just taking away the meat was quite easy for me. And I feel like when I went vegetarian, there was no like vegan meat substitutes, so it was just vegetables. So I had to learn how to eat vegetables properly from the start. So I'm not struggling really. Yeah,
I know it's the same when I went vegan, like back in like 2007.
There was nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you've been vegan for a long time, you know.
Yeah, and it was so easy to be healthy. Now if someone's like, will I be really healthy when I go vegan? It's like, not necessarily. Like,
did you find it hard going vegetarian or vegan? Did you go vegetarian first?
Yeah, so I went, I went home and I told my parents I was going vegetarian. They like negotiated as pescatarian. Then a year later I went vegetarian. Then a year later I went vegan. So it was it wasn't an intentional slow transition, but yeah. And yeah, do you know what? It just wasn't that hard. I
didn't find it that hard.
No, even back then I was, but also back then I was at school, so it wasn't like I was missing out on the social things. I can understand if I were my age now when I went vegan in 2007, like that would have been painful, like trying to go to restaurants and like splitting the bill 10 ways when you've just had the side salad like so often. It only happened to me like a few times when I was younger, and it hurt every time. But yeah, and then to do that, it was just not that hard. It was, and like you say, it made you feel healthier, and it also really broadened your horizons. Like, absolutely. Yeah, you had to get creative, learn new recipes, and I definitely also, I don't even know if I felt healthier, but because I was at school, you know, like every year you may do like the bleep test, or we did like the 1500, and these two things, I didn't change anything else, but I'd gone vegan, and then suddenly I'm like doing really well. I went from being like not like incredibly well, but I was like one of the last ones to like last in the class to finish 1500, and I ended up being like in the middle ground, and I was like, oh, that's such an improvement. And all I did was go vegan, and everyone else noticed it as well. They were like, oh, Nicole got faster. And I think they were like, oh, veganism.
And you know what, I find that people say, oh, like giving away meat is so hard, but I think when your morals are at the forefront, it's not. If you strongly believe about something and you said, I'm not going to do it because of this and that, it's actually easy.
Yeah, you can't stomach doing it any other way.
If you actually find something so revolting.
Yeah. It wasn't even just the ethics. It was like learning about like all the pus in milk and like eggs and periods. And I was like, oh, like it was a
definitely. Of the two. Cheese is probably the hardest because.
See, I never liked cheese, but everyone says this.
Because it's hard to find vegan cheese, but I just learned to live without cheese, you know.
Do you not enjoy any vegan cheeses?
There are some that are pretty good, but I don't really buy them. I just learned not to have it, really. But I feel like there's so many milk alternatives right now that it's quite easy.
It's so easy. Yeah. It's incredibly easy. It's not as easy to be a healthy vegan, I don't think. Do you know what drives me crazy, actually? Is that when you go to all these restaurants now, all their vegan dishes will be a fake meat one, whereas beforehand they actually were creating vegetables. Yeah. Like you'd get a really nice like aubergine, or I don't know, like a courgette-based pasta, or you'd get something really cool done with vegetables, whereas now everyone's just like, we'll give them a Beyond Meat burger. And I'm like, great.
Yeah, I usually skip those. I'm not really... Yeah, it's a shame, really. Because I wish places learn how to actually work with vegetables more. Yeah, you know.
They are so delicious, and I don't understand why so many places struggle. Like, these are chefs. Do they not go through courses of learning how to cook a vegetable? I don't get it. So we've just gone through the easiest swap. What was the hardest thing you've done in the name of fitness? Like, is there anything that you found really difficult but has given you amazing results?
I'm going to talk about food here because at the start, getting enough protein was quite difficult at the beginning, because I always thought, I'm getting enough protein in my diet.
Yeah.
But then I start tracking my diet and I was like, actually, I'm really not.
And is that because you were getting protein to like kind of like build your body?
I was trying to get a little bit bigger, get more muscle. And I remember I was struggling to get enough protein without going over the calories, because let's be honest, when you have certain fitness goals, you have to be a little bit strict.
Yeah.
And I feel like
because your fitness goals are like up here, like they are good fitness goals, right?
I think so. I like to think so, yeah.
Because I don't think I'd ever have the fitness goals which you have, but you are like it's a big thing for you. So you do have to be quite strict and disciplined when you've got these sort of goals.
And I think because I consider myself to be eating quite healthy, I find it hard to consume enough protein without consuming too much fat and too many carbs, you know. And it's so much harder to get vegan protein than non-vegan protein. Because let's say beans, they have loads of protein, but also they're quite high in fat. So the balance that you have to find, it's quite tough at the beginning.
Okay.
So it took me around 2 months, I think, to kind of get it right.
And what are your most like favorite like very basic superfood sort of things? So you've just said like beans maybe aren't your go-to. Is there any food where you're like, oh, this is great for protein? And
lentils. I eat loads of green lentils, honestly, and then I eat loads of lentil pasta or pea pasta. So that's such an easy swap.
Yeah, they're a little bit more expensive, but other than
a little bit more expensive. I don't think they're as nice.
Oh, aren't they? Okay.
But anything in the name of growing my ass, really.
Now that you brought up the topic of your ass, do you get asked a lot if that's real?
Yeah.
Yeah, and is it real?
It is real.
It's
real.
Vegan. It's vegan. But you do have an incredible bum. Was that your main fitness goal? Where you just like, I'm going to have the best bum going?
No, I think... Do you know what? I just kind of always was a bit bigger in...
Okay, so it was already a naturally good asset of yours.
And then I just decided to work on it a bit more, get a bit more up and plumped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's just basically the secret. It was like a bit of hard work, but also very good genetics.
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Just being honest, it is a lot of genetics. Like, I hold most of my weight in my lower body.
Well, I'm also a pear shape, but yeah, we're very different. So I feel like I should, focus on this. You're just like, yeah, okay.
I feel embarrassed. Please.
It's been a good era to be a pear shape. Like, I do not like the Kardashians, but I feel very blessed to have been like in my 20s during their era of body standards because... Yeah.
How do you feel about this whole body standard going back?
Oh, like, yeah. New York Times said heroin chic's come back, didn't they?
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I don't think it will happen just because last time it was like that, the media had all the control, whereas now social media and people like influencers, let's be honest, have a lot of control about what's in, what's hot, what's sexy. And I don't think we're going to let it go that way. I think there are too many ordinary people just being like, this isn't possible and it's not what we want. It's
not sustainable at all, really,
no.
To be keeping up with those trends. I think like you just need to find what you feel the most comfortable in and just rock it, you know?
And I also think like your advice here, just being like, okay, you had a natural asset and you kind of like focused in on that and you're just like, I'm going to feel really good about this thing. And like for other people, they might just be like, I don't know, some people really love their arms and they might be like, cool, I'm going to focus on my arms, or like whatever it is about them, they can just like focus on that and just glow from there.
Exactly.
So you glow from your ass, and people might glow from elsewhere. Oh my God, I'm so glad we set the record straight.
Is this PG enough? Please.
I just imagine it is a lot of what you get asked.
I do. And do you know what? A lot of people ask me whether I was like this before going vegan. And I actually thought that if I go vegan, I'm going to lose a lot of weight. But I haven't.
How long have you been vegan for?
It's going to be 7 years soon.
7 years.
Yeah.
I felt like
if anything, I feel like I have more of a shape now.
Yeah. But do you think that was also age coming into it as well?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause how old are you? You're about 27, 28, aren't you?
29.
29. Oh, yeah. You're a little bit older than me. You just had your birthday, didn't you?
Yeah.
Scorpio. No.
Libra. Scorpio.
I'm well embarrassed now.
Excuse me.
Put your surname wrong and then your
I'm
star
such a
sign.
Libra. You can't tell me. You can't tell I'm such a Libra.
I wouldn't be surprised if you were a Scorpio, no.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not psychotic. I try not to be.
I'm going to go back to my prompts. I feel so bad about this.
About what?
Getting your star sign wrong. Yeah, it's so rude.
The worst of the zodiac.
It's not the worst.
It is.
Gemini. Sorry, Lucas, what are you just for?
Sagittarius.
Yay!
Oh,
Me too.
twinning.
Yeah.
You guys
Best
are alright.
Yeah, we're good.
Not the best, but
It is. We're very optimistic and lucky as well. Yeah, speechless, aren't you?
yeah.
Okay, so how do you go about setting goals? So do you actually like write down things you're going to do? Do you manifest? Like, what is your strategy?
Okay, so as I mentioned before, I always used to get a planner for the new year.
Yeah, but that didn't work. So what
Never
do you do that works?
This is not good advice at all, but with me, I just wake up in the morning and think, I'm not doing this anymore, and that's it, and I change.
Okay, what? So if you wake up feeling shit, like say, for example, you've been drinking last night, you wake up and you feel shit, and you're like, no more
Yeah, and that's
alcohol.
it for me. Yeah. It's not like I write a list. I don't really say, if I do this, I'm going to feel like this.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for me.
Oh, no, but it's so interesting because everyone is so different with this thing.
Kind of like, I just go cold turkey as well. Like, I never kind of reduce, let's say, consumption of something. I'm just kind of off completely.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
that
the way
works
to
for
do
me.
it.
Like, reducing never works for me because I'm still getting a little dose of it. And it doesn't make me want to let go. Like,
And it's
you're
hard
still
to make it
hooked
your
on it.
default habit as well, because like, for example, say I want to stop drinking, I just have to stop drinking because then if I just like, I don't know, drunk on Fridays, and maybe that would be a fair routine, but still you're giving yourself an ability to reach for it rather than killing the habit.
Like, let's say with coffee, I could have just reduced my coffee consumption. So I could have gone like decaf, but I thought it's not going to work for me. So I just cut it off completely. That's how it works.
Although that being said, I was like, I'm going to not drink it after 1 p.m. and that worked for me. But everyone's different. But yeah, that was so good for me though. It's so weird. You don't really think of coffee as that bad. And then, I had to sit with my coffee habit and be like, oh, there have actually been many times. I used to have my coffee with sugar as well. And I had to sit with that and be like, because I drank so much coffee and every time I was putting 2 spoonfuls of sugar in it, I was like, oh wait, that's a lot of sugar I'm having just through my coffee. So I had to like cut out sugar, and that one I actually did cut it down. It was like 1 spoonful, and then I went to no spoonfuls, and then I've accidentally been served ones with sugar in since.
And you can retaste it, right?
It's so gross. It tastes something like coffee, so I just have it black now, and that way you actually like the taste of coffee as well.
But you see with coffee addiction and the way we metabolize coffee often has to do with our hormones.
Okay.
So, like our genetics. So genetically, my liver doesn't actually break down the coffee molecules properly. So I can't metabolize it properly.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why it gives me issues of, not sleeping well, for example.
Yeah. Anything else that you found? Did it like make you anxious or jittery or anything
Really
like that?
anxious.
Oh.
So actually, I only started drinking a lot of coffee because as I said, I had some sleeping problems for a long time.
Oh, so you'd be tired?
I'd be so tired and I still want to go to the gym and train. So I'd have a coffee.
Yeah.
I'd have like 4 shots of espresso, which is quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I would have it like 3 times a day. That's a lot.
Yeah. Did you have headaches when you quit that?
Oh my God. I'm telling you, the first week of quitting coffee, I wanted to kill myself, quite literally. The headaches were intense. But I never had coffee with like milk or sugar, just black coffee. But just getting rid of the coffee and the caffeine was just horrible for the first week.
Yeah.
Even 2 weeks, I think. I still felt awful. I felt really tired as well.
Yeah, but it goes to show that you have to kind of stick with it, because some people just be like, oh, my body does not like this, so
They
clearly
go
I
back
love
to
it.
it. Honestly, with anything, with giving up anything, you just kind of have to ride it out.
Yeah,
It's always hard for at least a month.
Yeah, it takes 28 days to change the habit. Yeah, so that is the way to do it. That's why Veganuary works, for example. We love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we lure everyone in. But yeah, I recently went to a retreat which was caffeine free. It was alcohol free, and then I was like, that's fine. And then when I got there, I was like, I didn't read the fine print, it's also caffeine free. And oh my God, by the time I left on the Sunday, I was like, I really need a cup of coffee. It's so
really
bad. Yeah, but I think I don't even know if it's necessarily so much the caffeine hit, but it must be, because there's something about it which is just so comforting, and it's such a good like day starter for a lot of people. Like for me, I was like, I don't feel like I'm starting the day without it.
Do you know what? I love the smell of coffee.
It smells so good. Yeah, when I lost my sense of smell during the pandemic, that was the one I was really like
Did you
dying
lose your
for.
smell?
Yeah, like very early on, like March 2020, whatever, like I lost my sense of smell, and it was before it was even like classified as a symptom, and I just really missed the smell of coffee. Like that was and coffee just tastes like hot water.
It's quite comforting, isn't it?
Yeah. This is the thing, actually. I think I quit coffee during that period because I couldn't drink it, and I I didn't feel that different. So I don't know. Maybe I'm okay with coffee.
Yeah, I think different people. Yeah, different people are different when it comes to these things. Honestly, it is genetics.
Yeah, and it's so fun how many things just boil down to genetics.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a quick fire of some wellness trends. Oh God, this is going to be so hard to quick fire. I've just seen the first one on the list. But okay, tell me if it's like a holy grail or a bit of a fuck it, basically. Juicing, good for health or what?
Good for health.
Yeah, you love it, don't you?
I love juicing.
Yeah, how did you get into that? I actually do want to talk to you about juicing. Did you just buy a juicer one day and be like, I'm going to do this?
Yeah, pretty much. Do you know what? It started with smoothies. I remember when I started being really fit. Well, I used to start going to the gym. I went to Argos, bought my £15 blender, which was so crap.
Yeah, with blenders, you have to invest.
And I remember I used to make a smoothie every single day, but the blender was so crap. So it was really like gritty, and I would still drink it every single day. I was like, I'm still getting this in, you know. And maybe after a year, I was like, okay, I can afford a better blender now. And then I kind of got into the whole loop on, I think, YouTube at the time, with like all the healthy girls, like most of them like live in Australia. Yeah, you know, with all their like
that era.
Yeah, that era. And I kind of just got into that. I was like, okay, let me start juicing.
Okay, and do you find that really expensive? Because sometimes when I'm watching juicing, so much goes into a glass, you know what I mean?
It is expensive, but it's not as expensive as getting a juice from a cafe.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. So if you were already on the juice hype, it's better value to do it yourself.
But always think of using like a cheaper base for your juice. So I would say like carrots, apples, celery, that's your base, and then you add the more fancy things to it.
Okay. You know? And yeah, you've got amazing juicing recipes on your Instagram. So if anyone wants to see more of that, head to Isa's Instagram. Yeah, what benefits did you notice when you started juicing?
Skin.
It
and digestion.
Okay. You have amazing skin.
Thank
I remember
you.
when I first met you, I wasn't expecting, I was like, this girl must be all like, it's just so incredible. I'm like, it's all filter. Like, she, like, not all filter, but I'm like, she can't look this amazing in person. And then I met you in person, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Thank you. No, honestly, my skin, I think that's the biggest thing. And also my hair. You can see it's quite thin, but it grows incredibly fast. So when I started juicing and making smoothies, my hair growth was insane.
Okay, so very good health
and digestion, honestly.
Okay. Okay, so okay, great. Okay, good. Okay, I knew juicing was going to be a good one for you. Spas and retreats, how do you feel about those?
I love them.
You love them?
Yeah.
Are they good for resetting or getting out of your own headspace? What do you love most about them?
I think just getting some rest. A change of environment is always good. And
when you're in that environment, you are already set to be like, I'm putting myself first. Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
Oh no, I love them, but I love a pamper. I love to relax. Like, I chose to be vegan beauty girl because of this
pampering. Who doesn't love it?
Yeah. Oh my god, and I love facials as well. I think they are so good.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I should do hydrofacial.
Yeah, it depends on time of year, but generally, yeah, something like that or just a hydrating facial. And I'm lucky because I do work like every now and then at a vegan salon, Lackadon Strip, so I'm very good friends with like the skincare girls there. So
I need to go there. I want to check it out.
It's so good. And yeah, facials is what I should spend money on every month instead of my lashes, because to get a monthly facial, I think I'd just look incredible. And it's so good for like clearing out the pores and just like, oh my God, they're the best. But obviously there is a price barrier. So minimum, I like to get 3 a year.
Yeah.
And 2 of those would be in the winter time because that's when my skin struggles the most.
I think last year I went through a bit of a struggle with my skin. I was getting a facial, I'd say, every month.
Oh, wow.
Like half a year. Yeah. And it really helped.
Is this the gua sha one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, actually, yeah, this wasn't on my list, but gua sha, is that a good one for you as well?
Yeah, definitely. I do it twice a day.
Oh, wow.
Every morning, every night.
Wow. And you noticed a big difference?
Yeah. You just get rid of a lot of water retention. Basically, if you know how to do it properly, it does help. Just a bit of a sculpted look.
Yeah, one of the best things I learned about that was that you can't give too much pressure or else you'll do the complete opposite.
We went to
a class together.
But you know, I remember when it first came out, I didn't believe in it. I was like, oh, this is bullshit. I was thinking, what is that going to help? And then I actually learned how to do it properly. And I'm like, okay, this works.
Yeah, it just feels like a lot of time to spend, you know, like...
It's only like 15 minutes before...
That's a lot.
I love to wake up and just like put a nice playlist on and just massage my face, and same before bed.
Okay.
So that's only 15 minutes a day.
I know I should, but like, yeah.
Do it.
Journaling, how do you feel about that?
I love it.
You love journaling as well?
Absolutely love it.
Oh my God, every wellness trend's getting a tick from you. I'm loving this. Okay, and how often do you journal?
Do you know what? I went through a phase where I used to write my gratitude list every single night, but then I kind of just fell off. And now I just do it whenever I feel like I need to get something off my mind.
I'm like that. I like to write it out. If I'm feeling incredibly stressed or like if something's really pissing me off, writing it down just makes you feel better.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like, I think a lot of people do it even without realizing it in a way. You know, like when something's pissed you off and you just need to text your friend, and you don't even need them to reply to you. You're just like, I'm sorry, I just need to get this off my chest. You can just write that in a journal.
Oh, you know when you're just pissed off, want to send somebody an angry text, so you just go into your notes and write a whole paragraph.
And then I'll send it 3 hours later and I'll be like, do you know what they need to know?
Yeah, it does help, definitely. Seeing something on paper, helps a lot.
And it really helps like seeing your thoughts all together, especially if you've got like pros and cons lists to write.
Oh yeah, I do those a lot.
Oh good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, this makes me feel happy. And then what about, mantras and quotes, like those sort of things where you decide like this is the quote you're going to live your life by, or this is going to be the quote for your year. Do you vibe with that? No, I don't get that one either. But some people love it.
I do follow pages on Instagram that post a lot of quotes, and I like seeing those, but I never kind of go by a specific one.
I find it so weird that I'm saying I've actually got a quote tattooed on me, and I'm still.
What is it? Quotes. Live, love, laugh.
No, it's be the change, because I do believe in being the change you wish to see in the world, like leading by example rather than telling people what to do. But still, and then I've got it in my own handwriting, so no one can ever read it properly. So everyone's like, "What the fuck is that?"
What do you think
like,
my quote would be if
what would yours be? Like, I don't know. It would be the peach emoji. No. I don't know. It would be something bad bitchy. I always think of you as like a little brat still, so maybe just like a Bratz.
Yeah. That's not a quote.
I know, but you just have like Bratz TM written on your back or something.
Maybe I should. Just attitude, you know?
Yeah, Bratitude.
Gratitude.
Morning routines. You know how that's been a big trend this year? Like that girl morning routines, 5 a.m. wake up. What is your view on morning routines? Helpful or just like...
Incredibly helpful. Start your day right, honestly.
Interesting.
Well,
I don't know.
Why do you sound like that?
I don't know. I think like morning routines have been like over glorified, you know, where like people put too much in them, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna do like 15-minute gua sha, 15-minute yoga stretch. Like I feel like the bar has been set so high, but by social media, that's not necessarily a morning routine. It's just social media's take on a morning routine.
I see where you're coming from, but honestly, I decided to give myself 1 hour in the morning just to myself to do those little things. So like I wake up, first thing I always do is open my window, make my bed, do my gua sha, shower, have a herbal tea, then just chill out for a bit. Like I don't go on my phone, and it does help a lot.
Okay, interesting. I'm so not.
So what do you do when you wake up usually?
Normally I'm feeling motivated. It's like normally my power hour for working, and I'll relax more later on in the day. So often I'd like grab my laptop, grab my phone, and like start just getting on with work. But then by like 2 p.m. I'm often like, I can't work anymore.
At what time?
Like 2 p.m. Like this is.
But that's normal, you know. Like we as humans, we're meant to be best in the morning up to 2 p.m. After 2 p.m. we kind of start switching off. It's completely normal.
Oh cool, because like especially in summer I'll wake up at 5 and literally like work till 2, and then I
that is absolutely normal.
Yeah. Oh good. Okay, so I felt like kind of lazy, but now I'm feeling a lot better about myself.
I would never think of you as lazy.
Oh. And then quitting alcohol, good or bad?
Good.
Oh, cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Do you know what? I love drinking, and I wish I could drink.
Okay.
But it's just, it doesn't work with my body, just like coffee. Like, I like the fun of it, but the aftermath the next day, just mentally, it's not right for me.
Sometimes I get drunk and I'm like, that's too much. And I do feel like maybe I should quit alcohol for a month just so I can go back to it and be like 2 glasses my limit. Or not even necessarily that, but half a bottle would be my absolute limit of a good time. For an evening, I don't know. It depends on how long.
It's not like I do anything stupid when I'm drunk or anything. Like I wake up and I regret anything. It's just I just get quite depressed, and it's for days. And it runs in my family. Actually, my mum's the same. So my mum doesn't drink any alcohol at all.
So it just goes to show how much you need to have these conversations with your family members.
Genetics are just crazy.
Yeah. Exercise, obviously, thumbs up. Yeah, I think everyone
move your body. Honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't like literally exercise doesn't mean having to go to the gym 5 times a week, but having something, a weekly routine where you actually just move.
Enjoy, do
so
something
good.
you enjoy, like you dance. It doesn't have to be weights at the gym. Just do something you actually gonna enjoy and stick to it.
Yeah, for ages I felt like Instagram was like telling me I had to be weights at the gym. So
No.
I'm so glad you said that. Time outside.
So important.
Yeah,
honestly.
even in the cold.
Yeah, 100%. Get out, get some fresh air.
I must say, yeah, that year where I was like, I need to get outside every day.
Walking is amazing, don't you think?
That's why I probably get so many hours listening to Taylor Swift. I just go out, put on an album, listen
Do
to
you know
it.
what? I love just like walking around, listening to music or podcasts, anything.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. High recommend. And also, like, in London, instead of getting the bus or the train, I generally try and like walk as much as I can.
Do you know what? I realised that when I'm going to work in the morning, I actually now walk, because I noticed that if I get on a train, I just get annoyed by people because they are so rude.
They are.
People are just in such a crappy mood. And I'm like, do I want to start my day like this? I'd rather just leave my house earlier and walk to work and then be in a better mood for the rest of the day.
Yeah, sometimes I'll get to like events or stuff and I'll be like, oh, it's a 50-minute walk. And they're like, oh my God, you walked 50 minutes. I'm like, well, it's 40-minute by public transport. I'll spend that extra 10 minutes and get a 50-minute walk in. Like,
you get your steps in, you get fresh air.
Yeah, for 10 extra minutes. It just makes so much sense. Okay, so celibacy. Recently, a friend told me that I should just like quit having sex and that I'd feel so good for it. Have you ever tried celibacy? Do you feel like it's good to, you know, like lock
I've
that
tried it
person down?
before.
How was it? How long? Can I ask that?
Yeah, it was 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah. I think the longer you go without something, you actually realize it's not that deep. It's not that hard. Like, no pun intended, excuse me. But you know what I mean? Like, whenever you give up something, it's hard at the beginning, but then it just doesn't matter.
Okay.
But it was just
so what made you break that? A good man? A bad man?
Do you know what? I remember when after 8 months I had sex, I was like, I just wish I didn't. It was so bad.
Oh.
It was such a shame.
Oh.
What about you? What do you think about that?
I don't get the point in it. I don't know. Should I try it? I don't know. I feel like I've gotten better at like, not that much better, but I've gotten better at like deciding who gets in basically. But like
do you know what? I'm just so tired of having bad sex.
Yeah, that is
it's just
basically
not
it.
worth it.
Yeah. And also I do admit like multiple sexual partners I don't think is a good choice for your sexual health.
No.
So I've definitely tried to keep the guest list exclusive, you know. I think I'm cringing myself out so much.
Do you know what?
Chat.
Recently I've actually been thinking a lot about just going celibate.
Okay.
For a bit.
What, 2023 celibate? Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Shall we make a pact together, see who goes longest?
What's the bet? What am I
Well,
winning?
you're gonna win, so let's not even bet this. But yeah, okay, so you recommend it. It makes you feel better about like your body, your self-worth. Like what was it?
Do you know
Or
what?
just, you know what, less disappointing sex, because
less disappointing sex and just not giving irrelevant people
that access
the access to you and your time.
Yeah, and
you
it's
know?
not just like sex, it's the intimacy, like giving them that access to that intimate part.
Yeah,
of you.
for me, like sex is more about the connection you have with somebody, you know,
I agree with that. Yeah.
rather than just having sex because you love sex.
Oh, I just hate going about it, but yeah, no, I totally get this. Yeah. God, we never even got onto the questions. We'll have a part 2 one day because I've got actually so much more to ask you.
There's so much to talk about.
Yes. But yeah, unfortunately we have to wrap up. So thank you for telling me how you felt about celibacy and sex and all that. I'm glad we ended up on quite a saucy note. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you everyone for listening. Really appreciate it. Please do like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, everything. Really appreciate it. Happy New Year, and I hope you have the best 2023. And Isa, sorry, quickly, where can we find you?
Instagram Isa_szyszko and my TikTok.
Can you spell that out? Sorry.
Okay, Isa_SZY SZKO.
Thank you.
And TikTok is the same.
Yay. Okay, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
on.
for
I'll have
having
you back
me.
again soon. And yeah, Happy New Year. Bye, guys.
Bye.